Hey Maga, are y'all excited for the ground war in Venezuela? Are you gonna send your sons or are you gonna go?
So, why isn't it mainstream media that Russia just signed this comprehensive treaty with Venezuela to protect Venezuela against the United States influence?
Remember that video when I said that we were going to need help in 2 months from these countries? I lied. We probably got a month left.
Don't let them folks just casually breeze by you on your For You page talking about, yeah, we're going to war in Venezuela, and then just breeze on about their day. We finna get up.
Well. I want to talk about Venezuela in a way that I don't see anybody talking about it today. Yes, Daddy Dumpy Pants got up there the other day and said that I'm not declaring war on Venezuela. We're just going to go in. I just thought it'd be a good time to remind people here in the US of A how close Venezuela is to the United States. I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, baby. It's nothing more than a small boat ride, honey. I mean, the administration has to admit that, right? Because
America is going to need some help. And a lot of people have been, whistleblowing and sounding an alarm. And they're like, we actually are going to need help. Yeah. Trump said he does not need the Congress to declare war against Venezuela. And he said, it's not going to be a war. They are going there too. Yeah. If you thought you've seen darkness, you haven't. And Americans are here to react to it. They wonder why he is dragging them into this. They wonder why the government is still shut down. But there's money for war. There's not enough money to feed people here. Why he tries to starve these people that are under the borders of the United States of embarrassment, he is trying to go and end the lives of those on the other side in the name of his stopping cartels. When they overthrew Muammar Gaddafi in Libya because he was a dictator, till now, the country is in shambles. But I don't want to talk about it right now. I want us to watch the reactions of Americans towards this. A lot of them are like, do not create this for us. Do not drag us into this. We'll come back and talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share. I'll be back with more.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer?
Just to set the stage, again, I read this report by CSIS that says more than 10% of all deployed U.S. naval assets are currently located in the Southern Command or Southcom area of responsibility, that is the Caribbean, Central and South America. The guy in charge of Southcom, Admiral Alvin Halsey, recently resigned. There's a lot of reports and chatter that he was not on board with this policy of murdering suspected drug dealers in boats off the coast of Venezuela, and that may be why he left. Last week, the New York Times reported that Trump has secretly authorized the CIA to conduct covert action in Venezuela, which Trump later confirmed to press as one normally does not do. The Guardian reported that the CIA is providing the intelligence driving these airstrikes on the boats, but that the aircraft being used to fire the missiles are U.S. military, which means there should be some disclosure. But when I've talked to Pentagon reporters, they say they ask, hey, what's the legal authority for this war? And they just get no response. The U.S. military helicopters have been spotted training 90 miles off the coast of Venezuela. These are helicopters that are usually used by the special forces. Apparently nuclear capable B-52 bombers are also training off the coast of Venezuela. Last week, we learned that the U.S. Navy had picked up 2 survivors from a U.S. military strike on a suspected drug smuggling submarine in the Caribbean. And over the weekend, the U.S. released those survivors back to their home countries of Ecuador and Colombia rather than bring them to the U.S. for prosecution. So just to be clear, that does not suggest that the administration has much confidence in the legal basis for these airstrikes. Unfortunately, Ben, a Senate vote that would have blocked the strikes off Venezuela failed last week. Every week, there's another set of blinking red lights that suggest we're about to bomb Venezuela.
The Democrats sometimes are worried, well, what if it looks good? What if he takes Maduro out and it looks strong? Putting aside that you should have already learned the lesson that it always looks good the first day. Like Iraq looked pretty good when that statue fell over. over. It's also just wrong. And it's all about making Trump more powerful in the same way that his like self-aggrandizing diplomacy is about making himself more powerful. If you don't see that this potential war in Venezuela is like inextricably linked to everything that's happening at home, you've not been paying attention.
Trump is going to start a war with Venezuela to distract from the fact that millions of people are going to begin starving in the United States this winter. Why am I saying this? 14% of the U.S. Navy is either already in or being repositioned to the Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela. Our most advanced carrier strike group is being repositioned from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean. We've already had the CIA authorized to conduct activities inside the country of Venezuela, and on November 1st, SNAP benefits are going to be cut off, as well as many funds and assistance programs for those who need help with paying their heating bill. People are going to be starving and freezing, and Trump is going to use this war with Venezuela to consolidate power even more. Declare an emergency. Say, well, see, we can't pay. We have to fund this war, so we can't feed our people. That's insane. We have to defeat this horrible regime. And I'm not saying the Maduro regime is good, but right now they pose no real threat to the United States. They pose no threat to the American people. They are not a national security threat at this time. And those strikes that they continue to make in the Caribbean on these vessels are against international law. They are against international norms of due process. The people who have survived those strikes were repatriated to their own countries and not charged by them. What does that tell you? That tells me that this administration is ready to start a war to distract the American people from the fact that millions of their fellow Americans are starving and freezing to death.
Don't let them folks just casually breeze by you on your For You page talking about, yeah, we're going to war with Venezuela, and then just breeze on about their day. We finna get up. And that's not me saying me of little faith. This the most unpatriotic generation in America that there is, right? Like a lot. Make a long story short, y'all. Both Iran and Russia done dropped some over on Venezuela. They done dropped some heat over to Venezuela. Now they already had the many. Now they got them big boy toys. And they just, I want you to think Russell Wilson, when he entered I'm talking Seahawks, Russell Wilson, he signed that major contract. That's based, God damn. Seahawks, Russell Wilson just met Sierra. Think of that contract and that time period. That's basically what Venezuela just signed with Russia. Like everybody about to be eating good in Venezuela. Like, oh God. Think the deal that the Sahel states, okay, Burkina Faso, all of them just struck with Russia. Bundle that up, crunch the numbers a little bit, give or take a few bill. That's what's going on in Venezuela. They got a whole lot of natural resources that they can't get out of the ground. America was trying to race them to it. Russia slid right in. Hey, don't let them shoot like that. Venezuela was like, I ain't. Nah, fuck Lady Liberty and her homegirls. Russia was like, I mean, you cool? Like, is you cool? You need some help? Big Daddy got you. Sitting on the other side of the bar like he Peter, standing in the dark with his trench coat, neck collar up, and the hat and shit like that, like he Kermit the Frog or some shit. Daddy got you. Knowing damn well he about to do some shiesty shit to get Venezuela on their team. And then China was like, because America was like, no, because who do you think she is? Who Venezuela thinks she is? Signing over the land rights to the minerals underneath the ground to poop them all you right. China was like, oh, it's a $5 ad before I make change. Basically told America today, I dare you. Meanwhile, Iran was dropping off over 150 drones. And the only thing I could think of in the radius or the distance, the near distance to Venezuela that they would actually need them drones for is the Virgin Islands and like Florida, Texas, California. And then I also thought about the fact that they building a bunker underneath that White House. And I was like, damn, y'all finna jump us, ain't it? I know it. No food, and we finna get her knocked between the washer and dryer. And it's all because of wig.
Well. I want to talk about Venezuela in a way that I don't see anybody talking about it today. Yes, Daddy Dumpy Pants got up there the other day and said that I'm not declaring war on Venezuela. We're just going to go in and kill, like dead. That's what he said. He literally said, like, dead. Who talks like that? We're going to get, is he a 14-year-old little girl? Who the fuck talks like that? Anyway. The thing that I want to talk about with Venezuela today is because, well, we are sending our largest aircraft carriers into the waters. And I mean, it looks like we're declaring war on Venezuela, no matter what Daddy wants to call it today. And I just thought it'd be a good time to remind people here in the US of A how close Venezuela is to the United States. I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, baby. It's nothing more than a small boat ride, honey. I mean, the administration has to admit that, right? Because that's why they're dropping bombs in the seas, because those boats can get here expeditiously, correct, honey? Yeah, so I guess it's safe to say that Venezuela is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Have we ever dropped bombs on anybody that is a hop, skip, and a jump away to our coastal shores? And yes, we've got this wonderful military and defense system. But answer me this. What do you think it would do to a coastal state on the Gulf of Mexico in the United States if just one missile shot from Venezuela hit our shores? And by the way, they're close enough to do that to us today. You know, we're so safe over here, aren't we, dear? We know how far away China is. We know how far away Russia is from, well, the lower half of the United States. They're just a literal walk away from Alaska. But either way, you just think about that today. We're not in a fight with Japan, and they made it to Hawaii, dear. Pearl Harbor, you remember that? Oh, yes. So you think about that today. You think about how close Venezuela is to all those red states on the Gulf of Mexico. And all it would take would be one Venezuela missile skirting on through. Who might be waiting to hand Venezuela some weapons today? Could be Voldemort Puntain. That would be a fabulous play. Who is Venezuela in bed with, dear? Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Didn't we just sign an agreement to hand over a bunch of our weapons to Qatar? What happens every time in American history when we, you know, form an allyship with former enemies and then train them in our planes and then give them or sell them our weapons, dear? What happens? Oh, they end up turning around and using that. So, this is just your friendly reminder today that Venezuela is only a hop, skip, and a jump away. Venezuela is in bed with Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And probably Iran, too. The Voldemort Puntain man, he's in bed with Iran. Baby, this is just your fucking reminder, honey.
So why isn't it mainstream media that Russia just signed this comprehensive treaty with Venezuela to protect Venezuela against the United States influence? Basically, the United States go to war with Venezuela, we go into war with Russia too. Is people paying attention to this? I got the video. Here you go.
This is a very appropriate decision, submitted to the State Duma by our president today. And this concerns many aspects, not just the development of comprehensive relations with Venezuela. It's about building a multipolar world. This is an opportunity for Venezuela to develop as a sovereign state, and for the people of Venezuela to plan their own future. Please turn on the voting mode. "407 votes in favor. No votes against, no abstentions. Dear colleagues, congratulations. Despite our differing worldviews on building a multipolar world, all political factions unanimously support our president's policy in concluding a comprehensive partnership agreement. In this case, we have ratified the agreement between the Russian Federation and Venezuela on strategic partnership and cooperation. We are working on it. Sergei Alexeyevich, please, the final words are yours. Now you can speak. You have the voting results in hand. Dear Vyacheslav Viktorovich, dear deputies, I am truly grateful for this display of firmness and a responsible approach to the current situation in our relations with Venezuela and the Latin American Caribbean region. This region was once called the Burning Continent. I'm inclined to think that something may continue to blaze there, but we must do everything possible to ensure that through our solidarity and cooperation with our allies, especially those like the Balkan Republic of Venezuela, we can reliably counter Washington's incendiary plans and hegemonic tendencies. Thank you, colleagues. We will support you.
Hey, MAGA, are y'all excited for the ground war in Venezuela? Are you gonna send your sons, or are you gonna go? I'm just curious, because I know that a lot of you kept saying that Trump was gonna stop all the wars, and we weren't gonna have any more. But I know you also really love your daddy, so I'm just wondering, how are you feeling about this? Because we are just seconds away from a war starting. Well, it already has started with Venezuela, but Venezuela is getting their troops prepared, and we are moving towards land over there. Like, we're ready to go. They're having meetings about it. Pete Hegseth is having meetings about it. The Pentagon Pizza Index is up, which, as we know, if you don't know what the Pentagon Pizza Index is, you should look it up. It means we're going to war. I'd like to know, how are you feeling about this? What is the total number of wars we're in right now? Because we're in, obviously, all the trade wars, which I can't count them all, because it's, a lot of countries. Obviously, we're still involved in Ukraine. We are sort of in a Cold War with China. Obviously, we also have everything that's going on over in the Middle East, which Trump is now saying that he greenlit those Patriot attacks in Lebanon. It sounds like he's very involved. And it sounds like Jared Kushner is making real estate deals, and has been for the last couple of years, with people in the area about Gaza. So are you ready to say that you're wrong? Because it seems like Trump is like the war president. I mean, now we have a Department of War. Pretty much seems like he lied about this, just like he does about everything else.
Come right here, front and center. Remember when you told me that the United States of America would never go to war with Venezuela, and I'm out of my mind for telling people to prep with bug-out bags, right? Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to people that are bringing drugs into our country, okay? We're going to kill them. Trump told reporters at the White House. Do you know why Trump was talking at the White House about that, about Venezuela? Because before that statement, Trump told them that his administration doesn't need a declaration of war from Congress, which under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, he knows he does. That's why there's a government shutdown. And remember, these attacks took place before the government shutdown. He was talking about going in on land of Venezuela and confirming that we are about to invade. That speech was less than an hour and a half ago. So for anybody and everybody that was saying this is chicken shit and he's taking care of the United States, I just want you to know none of them boats were in our territories. They were in international waters. I want you to know them people were not just from Venezuela. Today he attacked another boat in the Pacific Ocean, so that must be Colombia. So if you're now activating Colombia in the Pacific and you're about to invade Venezuela in the Atlantic, Brazil gonna whoop you on both sides. You need your bug-out bag. You better learn Spanish. Tú necesitas aprender la lengua de español. Y también Russia and China. You thought I was joking a month ago when I posted that video. It's time to collect. And I'm gonna let you know we're not panicking right now. That's not some in our blood. What we are doing is preparing our civilians and our community to make sure we're good to go. And what we will continue to do is educate you step by step on where altercations are taking place, so you understand where this might start as a mishap. Because one thing for sure and two things for certain, they have Russian missiles and Russian jets. They got the top military. And go ahead, there's gonna be a bunch of men in my comment section saying they're not gonna do nothing. The United States of America is strong. Roar! The same motherfuckers that never served this goddamn country and currently can't find their wife in between their legs. I ain't trying to hear no goddamn shit. I'm about to go live in a little bit, but I need to bring that to your attention because Donald Trump literally told everybody in less than an hour he's gonna let everybody in Venezuela. Sweetheart, nobody's letting that happen.
Today, Donald Trump just casually announced he doesn't need congressional approval to declare war. He's going to send troops into Venezuela and, I quote, kill them. And he said it gleefully. According to the Midas Touch, 17% of the Navy is currently mobilizing off the coast of Venezuela. 17% of naval power. People are not talking enough about how terrifyingly close we are to a real shooting war. And you know who is a close ally to Venezuela? China. This is how larger conflicts begin, with a narcissistic madman playing with matches next to a powder keg. Too many Americans live in this fantasy land where they think war could never touch our soil. They think we're immune, but we are not, especially not with the most incompetent, maniacal people in the land directing our military. We are being led by a man who thinks foreign policy is a reality TV show, and the ratings are more important than the human lives. So my very serious question is this. This is for everyone in the U.S. military. When are you going to stand up and refuse these illegal orders? The Constitution, you know, that document you swore an oath to defend, states explicitly that a president needs congressional approval to declare war. So when the president stands up and says, nah, fuck your Constitution, those are illegal orders. It is insane that the military is going along with this. I keep seeing all these ex-military commentators saying, oh, the military would never carry out illegal orders. Now what? Because what I'm seeing is silence and compliance. What I'm hearing is a man openly planning war crimes and facing zero immediate pushback from the institution tasked with stopping this exact. So I'm sorry to go after active duty members, but when is enough going to be enough? When is the military going to do its sworn duty? Because refusing to participating in a coup is one thing. Refusing to carry out illegal offensive war is another. And it is within your authority, actually your duty, to refuse. I saw a video earlier today from an active Army vet saying people are quietly being demoted from high-ranking positions, and that is not normal. So I'll ask again, when are y'all gonna say enough is enough? Because from where I'm sitting, it really looks like service members are just falling in line. And I've seen nothing other than commentary from retired folks convince me they're not just going to go along with it and keep people illegally, which is a fucking war crime. Where is the International Criminal Court in all of this? Aren't they supposed to be the backstop for this exact kind of scenario? It feels like every institution that was designed to prevent this is crumbling, and we're all just watching it happen. I am terrified, and I am begging somebody to explain why the fuck this is happening.
Hey, to any Trump supporters watching this, help me out. I'm genuinely trying to understand what our president is doing here. Since when did America First become regime change war in Venezuela? And are you prepared to go die in Venezuela for our president? The Trump administration and the Pentagon are now making top U.S. military officials sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, related to what the Trump administration is doing in Latin America right now in their operations revolving around Venezuela. This is significant because clearly they are hiding something from us, or they are trying to at least. This comes as Donald Trump stations more Marines in the Caribbean right now, preparing for a boots-on-the-ground operation in Venezuela. He recently had a roundtable in the White House where he was asked if he needed Congress to declare war on Venezuela, and Trump says they're just going to go in there and take people out. He literally said that. It's on tape. And now we see that military officials are being forced to sign NDAs, even though they're already not supposed to leak classified information. So this added security measure really is concerning, and it really suggests that there's something scarier going on that they don't want to tell us about. Last point I'll make is this. This is coming at the same time as the Pentagon has restricted access to journalists. Now only Alex Jones of InfoWars and other conspiracy theorists get to ask questions to the Pentagon. Very concerning stuff. Please share so more people are aware.
I'm going to call it right now. South America is going to become the next Middle East. As of right now, no American, left or right, wants anything to do with the Middle East. We don't want to do anything with Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. We are leaving all of that shit behind. But the military-industrial complex demands for war. It's how it makes money. With how anti-immigrant this administration has been, their need to demonize anyone of Latin descent, and with Trump currently sending multiple warships to Venezuela, probably gearing up for an invasion of Venezuela, this is only the beginning, I think. There's no reason, no logical reason that the United States should be beefing with Venezuela or demanding regime change. So what if a South American leader doesn't like America? Most of them don't, because we've been fucking with South America for decades. And some people will say, well, it's because South America has oil. And yes, Venezuela has a lot of oil, but it's not like high quality oil like the Saudis do. It takes a lot of time to process what they have. I genuinely think the American war machine is now fully removing itself from the Middle East, and we are going to be inserting ourselves into South America in the future.
No. Donald Trump shot 4 boats today. 4 boats in one day. 4 boats in one day, taking 14 lives. It would have been 16. But Mexico saved 2 survivors. Who? ¿Quién? Mexico. Mexico Militar. That means if Mexico is involved and saw that shit, they probably gonna say something about it. And for anybody and everybody that said he's only currently hitting Venezuela, all 4 of those boats was in the Pacific. Pacific! Which side is that on? It sounds like Donald Trump is trying to make a war with the entire Caribbean. You didn't need us to paint that out. And for anybody and everybody that doesn't know why he's in Asia so that Malaysia, Japan, Thailand, as well as Cambodia can give him access to rare earth minerals, the same rare earth minerals he just signed with Argentina so that China can go down. $1 million. And now Belarus got permission from Russia to send balloons over to Lithuania. Lithuania said they're going to shoot it down, Lithuania being a NATO country. It was less than 2 days ago that Trump called Russia and said, I just want you to know we got a nuclear submarine outside your coast. How would you say that? I don't want to hear shit about y'all saying the Democrats is the reason why this government shut down. Today, the 13th time, the Republicans in the Senate blocked the GOP bill. The stop spending, the stopgap bill, they blocked it again. They did the same exact votes they did the last time they did this. And guess what? You want to sit here and say that Democrats aren't switching sides? Fetterman switched sides from Pennsylvania. You know who stayed on the same side? Can you tell me why Rand Paul voted no? You the one that told him that they need to come back. Everybody come back now, you currently switching sides. Wagwan, Jamaica. Jamaica's about to be hit by a Cat 5. So pay attention to that because that's going after the Caribbean. If it doesn't stay just in Jamaica, it will hit other islands. So like I said, go ahead and get your bug out bag ready because we are about to be attacked. We have killed 56 people in less than 2 months. Just hitting them. Like it's a fucking bowling alley. And if you think Maduro's not ready, Maduro called Brazil bom dia. They got 15,000 in the Amazon waiting for us. That's why Donald Trump sent Argentina $40 billion. So that we can go into the Amazon if Lula decides to attack us. Colombia already has their troops set and ready. Mexico has had their troops set and ready since Donald Trump threatened her in March, saying if she doesn't figure it out, we'll figure it out for her. Mira, no quiero uno problema con los otros países debajo de los Estados Unidos y también el cartel. No tengo uno problema, yo permites. No me jodas, yo permite. Estamos en problemas. Ahora, fix your credit. Get your house, buy a half an acre, make sure you away from the main cities, baby. Because all the main cities that anybody would want to hit next to the water, 100 miles from the border. On the border! 2/3 of this fucking population of 340 million are on the border. Good luck, puta madre. Ya yo sé a pelear.
President of Venezuela, yeah, like Venezuela as in the quote-unquote drug boats that the United States has been blowing up, just said that he caught United States CIA operatives trying to promote a fake event to start a fucking war with the U.S. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to school you. Venezuela has oil. The United States has already said they want that fucking oil. And Donald Trump has been blowing up the drug boats, quote unquote, with innocent civilians on it because he wants to start a war. And they just caught CIA agents proving that point. So today, this article came out on October 28th. My birthday. It's been really shitty, don't ask. Venezuela has claimed to have captured CIA-backed cell plotting false flag attack, with tensions growing in the U.S. Venezuela believes Trump is trying to put pressure on the president in order to displace him from power and take that fucking oil. They claim to have foiled a CIA-financed cell plotting a false flag attack on the American warship. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically it's like trying to do a switcheroo and making it look like Venezuela did something they didn't, but by use of the U.S., i.e. how Gaza keeps saying Hamas is breaking the ceasefire first, but in all actuality, Israel's bombing them. Same thing, same tactic. So not only are our troops not getting paid, but they're about to get pulled into some shit, even though there's already boots on the ground over there. Y'all just don't know it.
We have got the largest warship on the planet sailing to Venezuela right now. In addition to an abandoned Navy base in Puerto Rico sporting new F-35, C-130s, a Harrier jump jet, and a bunch of other military hardware, the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, the largest warship ever built, and its entire strike group are steaming through the Caribbean to the shores of some South American country. Because, apparently mass murdering random people on boats in the Caribbean with Hellfire missiles wasn't grandiose enough for the Cantaloupe Caligula administration. And you might be asking yourself, how does a giant fucking aircraft carrier and some fighter jets help stop drug trafficking? And the answer is, it doesn't. Despite what the neck giant and Nero regime thinks you are dumb enough to believe, this has absolutely nothing to do with drugs. It has everything to do with the fact that Supersize Me Stalin is a fucking idiot who is really easily manipulated by other idiots who are just not as big of an idiot as he is. And the idiot pulling the puppet strings when it comes to Venezuela is Mini Marco Rubio. And now you see, everybody has their own theory about why we've taken such an intense interest in Venezuela. There's obviously the narco-terrorism drug thing, which is complete bullshit. Venezuela does not produce any fentanyl at all. It's pretty much all Mexico with origins coming from Asia. Colombia produces the vast majority of coke, and while some of that is transported through Venezuela, they're not really the problem there either. So it's not drugs. It's never been drugs. Venezuela is a minor player in the grand scheme of the drug cartel world that goes on south of our border. So it's not drugs. We know it's not drugs. But what about resources? Venezuela is rich in natural resources. They've got massive reserves of oil and natural gas, and we have been known to crash the fuck out on a country over some crude. And their oil reserves was in fact something little Marco tried to convince Orange Julius Caesar to turn his attention to Venezuela on by saying that we needed to control their oil reserves. And then Venezuela was like, cool, we'll give you access to our oil reserves if you just stop blowing shit up over here. So Marco Rubio just goes to the dimension dipshit. He's like, wait, we can't just take their oil reserves that they're giving us freely, because what if they do like a take-back seize or something? We need to do a regime change to make sure that we've got access to those oil reserves. That is literally how fucking dumb the man tearing down the White House to put up a stupid ballroom is. So it's not about oil. We can apply that same logic to the fact that it's probably not about any rare earth minerals or resources that they have there either. So we're doing this not because of drugs, not because of oil or natural resources, not for any purposes of national security, but almost exclusively because Marco Rubio personally dislikes the Venezuelan government. He personally dislikes them because the Venezuelan government is a strong ally with Cuba, and he wants to topple the Cuban government, but it's harder to convince the sentient circus peanut pretending to run the country to go attack a country that doesn't have a drug trade, doesn't have any natural resources, and doesn't pose a national security risk. But if you topple the regime that is Cuba's biggest ally and supporter, then Cuba likely crumbles as well. So Palpatine up there has just been blowing up random boats in the Caribbean with presumably innocent people on them, is sending an entire carrier strike group to the shores of Venezuela, and has publicly authorized covert CIA operations inside of Venezuela, which seems to defeat the purpose of them being, you know, covert, all because of little Cuban Kissinger's personal dislike of this random South American country and the fact that our president is a fucking idiot who could be manipulated by a potato. And as a result, we are either going to get in a brand new war with Venezuela or start doing the same 1960s, 70s, and 80s regime toppling, dictator installing bullshit that ruined the world during the Cold War, because these motherfuckers can't even ruin the world in a new and interesting way. It's fucking insulting. It's like you just Xerox copied the history book of all the dumb shit we've already done, and you're just doing it all over off of that, but dumber because you know it's a Xerox copy, so you're not quite as sharp. It's gotten so bad that I wish we were invading Venezuela over oil. And that would be terrible. I'm a millennial. I am so fucking sick of wars over oil. That would still be so much better than the fact that one dipshit from Florida somehow weaseled his way into a position of power where he can just start a war with a country because he just doesn't like the government. This is why we can't let Florida men do things. Okay, we need to have a law that says if you're a man from Florida, you're not allowed to do anything, ever. You just gotta sit there and be fucking quiet. And I really did. I spent so much time reading into this because I'm like, it can't be this fucking dumb. We cannot be doing all of this simply because Venezuela hurts Marco Rubio's fifis. And this is all it is. That's all it is. Every little bit of research I did just came back to that. Anyway, guys, clearly we need to keep fighting this fight before, you know, we go full as the ends of the world. So please support our Save the Heartland from the Heartless sit-in in DC that will culminate with the Remove the Regime March on November 22nd in DC as well. Be there if you can for one or both. And if you can't, support if you can. We've got an amazing group of people getting together to go make this stuff a huge success and hopefully send a message that will stop Venezuela from getting blown up, potentially. And all of the other evil, just disgusting things that are happening that we'd like to stop from happening. This is a big step towards hopefully accomplishing those goals. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and I hope you guys can be a part of it.
You know, Americans are aware that Venezuela is not so far away from the United States of America. The only boundaries, big boundaries that you guys have, a lot of you are already saying it, that it's just a water body. Gone are the days when different leaders, not specifically Trump, used to go and commit atrocities across the board. They would literally go and create enemies so far away, so it would be difficult for those people to cross over and come to you. And a lot of Americans are worried right now because of what Trump is doing, declaring. He said he ain't even declaring war. He's talking about he's going to go and yes. And you think those people will not retaliate? You think, I don't know if he thinks they will not. Too bad. The people that are going to face it rough, it's the Americans. And Americans are literally whistleblowing right now. They are telling the world and their own and literally educating them. They're like, actually, these people are not so far away from us and we might need help. Too bad though, even if you might need help, he's already created enemies with those that are near you. That it will be so hard. These people are literally paying other countries to, I don't know, are they buying homes in those countries so that when things go bad, they will run and go there? Because I tell you what, they're bailing Argentina out and more other countries where just in case things go bad, they will run out. Don't look at this as if it's not an investment. They are making their own personal investments just in case things go bad. And that's and I feel like Trump does not care that much. That's why a lot of Americans are sounding alarms. And I want everybody to look at this like with utter concern and urgency and share it with fellow Americans, because this is literally bad. But so many people are not talking about this. As bad as it would get that people don't have enough food to eat right now. But then anywho. Oh, a lot of people were like, oh no, we don't have a king. Why are you guys protesting? You say you don't need to consult Congress. He will just go and, he will do what he wants to do. The Western governments normally care a lot about democracy. Outside of other countries, there's no democracy in the US. But he's fighting against Maduro because he's a dictator, and the whole country is full of cartels, and these cartels are bringing whatever's into America. As much as that might be true, but it's not the entire truth. Should we have to go back to Libya and look at how the country was left in shambles after Muammar was taken out? How is it affecting you when other countries are having dictators? How is it your business? If we have a saying, "Teri alumiriwanga taina chigenderewa," in my language, that nobody cares without a secret intention. Yeah, everybody cares, but they want to make sure there's something that they will get and receive in return. Now the country is in shambles, Libya. People used to have free education to university, free medical care. The country was on the peak, as in shambles right now. And this man is talking about this is not going to be war. He's going against everybody. Now you are starving people in the US. Now you're going after others as well. Not because you want to make US a better place, but some of these wars have personal interests. He's a billionaire. He's a businessman. By the time he leaves power, he wants to still leave a bag and a legacy of money. Food stamp, nowhere. Federal workers, they are lining. Military people lining and getting food in food pantries. But you have money for the wars. This is not even a millionaire or billionaire people problem. This is a these people problem. From the beginning of time, you've always been obsessed with power and dominion and supremacy and control. You think they care about crime? You think he cares about crime? No. He's a criminal himself. You think he cares? Now, if a person that cares about crime, he wouldn't release those that were in the January 6th, whatever. He would know. You know how many people he has released from prison? These are criminals. People that literally were a threat to society. And they came out and they're still threatening people again. And they have gotten them back again to prison. You think he cares about crime? And I think these are questions that Magas should know, because people that are awake already know that this is not about that. He don't care. He don't care. ICE is literally harassing, unaliving people. He don't care about that. That's crime. That's real crime. He don't care about that. They are definitely after something. But in the process, they are using the resources of the American people. They are creating enemies that even when they are gone, you United States citizens are the one who have to deal with the enemies they have created. Because let me tell you this, people are not going to forget. People are not going to forget. Governments are not going to forget. That's why Burkina Faso in Africa, the Sahel region, when a new leader emerged, the first people to deal away with are the traders. Out. So, and there are those that even if you had a legit business and you are in the country, you have to leave. So he's creating all these wars and setting a target on American people. And American people are helpless. They are helpless. Because he don't even need to consult with the Congress. So it doesn't matter what you guys have to say. You talked a lot about the White House being demolished. Does he care? No, he don't. No, King's Deputy. He don't care. So that's why people are like, this is a king. This is a dictatorship. American people are under hostage. They're under siege. But this is a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture at the same time, because it's not just about money and all of that. This is a demonic agenda. And innocent people have to be, Americans are like, we're going to have to need help. Because we are literally being set up. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys later. My name is Gracie. Love you. Stay safe. May God watch over you and protect you. Bye.